So the SSPX is saying they're not excommunicated. And they even came out with a statement to the papacy. They say the SSPX announces that in response to its excommunication decree offered by the DDF on the 11th of July, they sent to the dicastery an objection, effectively attempting to appeal this, according to Canon 1734. And they argue on the basis of this canon and also Canon 1353 that the decree excommunicating them has been suspended during this process. Look, there is an argument that can be made canonically that they're abusing the Code of Canon Law and using a canon that does not apply to their situation and attempting to say that it does. But setting aside that conversation, this is exactly what I predicted would happen. Look, the SSPX is always going to have an objection, and they're always going to have an answer no matter what response is provided. You know, initially people were saying, well, hey, it was Fernandez and the Vatican that released the excommunication, not Pope Leo personally, as if the Vatican and the dicastery doesn't speak on his behalf and doesn't have authority. But even if Pope Leo XIV himself said, hey, I'm excommunicating you guys, do you think that would change anything for the SSPX? No. John Paul II personally excommunicated them in Ecclesia Dei Afflicta, and they still said that they weren't excommunicated. And likewise with this canonical argument, the Vatican's probably just going to throw this out, not even consider it, because it doesn't even appear that they're using the canon correctly. But let's just say that they were. And let's say that the Vatican responds, offers a response and says, appeal denied. Do you think that's going to change anything for the SSPX? No. They will always have an argument. They will always have a response for their position. And ultimately, they're just going to bank on, hey, we got a state of emergency, so we have to do what we have to do. And the church is going to supply us with grace and authority in these extraordinary cases because of extraordinary circumstances and a state of crisis. And I mean, look at all the stuff that's going on in the church, and they're just going to appeal to that. So somebody asked me about this earlier and said, hey, are you going to deal with this? Well, I don't really even have to, but the point is, even if you were to go through and offer a canonical objection to this, and that's not going to change anything for the SSPX. And even if they have an argument, at the end of the day, they're always going to have a way to justify their position. And that doesn't mean their position is right, by the way. But what it means is getting into the back and forth, getting into the weeds on the Code of Canon Law and all that, it's not going to settle the question at the end of the day. And I know that from personal experience. You can show people canon law. You can show people dogma. You can show people anything, X, Y, and Z. And if they're bent on maintaining the position of the society, they'll maintain the position of the society. And that's a phenomenon with every group. I see that with Orthodox. I see that with Protestants. I see that with atheists. So, you know, if you're really determined to maintain something, you'll always find a justification for it. And I think that's what's going on here. And honestly, I doubt very seriously the Vatican is even going to entertain this and is likely not going to offer a response. But if they do, I'll let you know, right? I'll keep you up to date. Hey, make sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and of course also drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. See you later.